Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Larry if you're new here, and welcome. Glad to have you. Uh, one thing, something that struck me in the last couple of days that reminded me of the fact that our kids, our adult children, are still watching us. Have you ever noticed when your kids are growing up, you'd see them do something and you thought, oh, something good, and you thought, oh yeah, they learned that from me. But then on the other side of that, you see them doing something bad or wrong or saying the wrong thing, and you think, ooh, they learned that from me also. Well, guess what? They're still watching you. Leave in the comments what they've learned from you, or good or bad. But I've had a couple of instances just lately that really reinforce that fact to me. I was over one of my son's house the other day. He's 47. He's got twins. Okay, they got started late to say the least, and the young man's getting jacked. He worked out when he was younger, but life kind of got in the way, and he kind of got away from it. He was always in shape, but life kind of got in the way. The twins got in the way, so he started working out, and I mean, he is getting jacked. I couldn't believe it. I hadn't seen him for about 6 months, and man, he's got some arms on him and some legs, and he's really looking good. And I asked him, I said, "Damn, why were you doing that?" He says, "Well," he says, "I'm 47." He says, "10 years from now, I want to be able to play with my kids when they're teenagers." And I thought, oh my gosh, he learned that from me because when raising three boys, I needed to be the alpha male in the household. So that's what really when I started working out seriously. And so he learned that from me. That's a good thing, I think. And then one of my other sons, he learned something from me. It came to my attention. I called him up one day and he was sick. I knew he was sick. I said, "Well, you're not at work, are you?" And he was rehabbing the house, I think, at the time, and doing all the work himself and just really laying in there. And I said, "Well, you're still sick, aren't you?" He said, "Yeah, Dad." I said, "Well, why don't you take a day off?" He said, "Dad, I've got bills, I've got work, I've got a key to the house, I've got everything there I need. I'm working." He said, "I'll feel just as bad there as I will at home, so I'm going to work, make some money." So, but he also learned that from me because that's the way I only missed in 35 years of being a self-employed contractor. I only missed one day of work, and that's because I had intestinal flu and couldn't get too far from the toilet. But enough about that. But anyway, they learn things by watching. They learn by what you've modeled, and they are still watching you in retirement. They're watching us how we are aging. Are we aging gracefully or not so gracefully? Are we giving up totally and sitting on the couch? They're seeing this. Or are we pushing on to do some different things? And they're seeing that also. They're also going to see our faith or our lack of faith. Just recently, in fact, it was Friday, I guess, a few days ago, that I had to I was a designated driver. My oldest son had a procedure done, outpatient procedure, and he needs somebody to drive him. So I drove him and brought him home and everything. And but it was really a cool dad moment for me because I got to pray for him right before. In fact, the doctor was walking in the room. We were in the prep room, I guess you'd call it, and I had my hand on his shoulder and I was praying for him, and I know that made an impact on him. It wasn't even a good prayer, it wasn't even a long prayer, but it was a prayer, so he knows where my heart was, and I hope that I modeled something there real important for him. Another thing they're looking at is where do we spend our time? Are we spending our time watching game shows on TV, or are we spending our time just being there for them? We went to one of my granddaughters plays in a high school band, so we went to a high school football game the other night, and I only saw her after halftime. You know, they did their show and everything. I didn't see her before the game, but I saw her afterwards, maybe 2 minutes. But I know that made an impact on her, and I know my son and his wife noticed it also, and that's important. Those little things are important. And as you all know, and I know firsthand, challenges they never stop. They just never stop. It could be health, it could be financial, it could be a lot of things. Our challenges never stop, and they are watching us and they are learning from us. They may not say that. They are watching us and learning from us to see how we handle each situation. Are we going to handle it gracefully? Are we going to fight? or are we just going to lay down and die? And they are watching us. They're watching how we spend our time. They're watching how we spend our money. They're watching how we serve others. They're watching us. So you're modeling it for them, good or bad. You are modeling it for them right now if you're in any kind of close contact with them at all. Another thing they're going to watch is are you still growing? You know, I was sold the bill of goods. You work hard, you retire, you sit on your butt the rest of your life, then you die and life's over. And that's pretty much it. That's what a lot of people do. I'm not one of those people. But are you still growing? I bet I kicked around this YouTube channel for 6 months. I had 50 ideas, none of which I've used so far. I had 50 ideas written down. I was doing my research. And how do you get monetized? How do you do this? How do you do that? And it was way above my head. It was way above my head. In fact, my first 5 or 6, 7 videos I had like 20 subscribers, maybe 10. I don't know. It was disheartening to say the least. The videos weren't very good. The subject wasn't very good. But there I was. I was trying to learn something new. I almost quit. And one of my granddaughters, she came over and was visiting, and she's the one who helped me set up the channel. She was visiting, and she said, "Why don't you just give it a couple more, Pops?" And I said, "Okay." So I did a couple more, and things radically changed, and I got some views, got some subscribers, and it's been good ever since. So, but they're seeing how we're handling new things. In fact, one of my sons had some people over for dinner the other night. Now they're in their mid-40s and they had kids, and the woman was real concerned because her dad he just retired and he is bored and he's depressed, and she just didn't know how she could help him. So my son was telling me about my YouTube channel. You know, it started out as something to do, and it's kind of turned into a little something more than I thought it ever would. But she just thought that was the greatest idea. Now, one thing I have learned, I'm going to make a video about this one of these days. One thing I have learned are the millions, literally millions of people who use YouTube, and it's not for monetization, it's not to make money from, it's as a video storage. Lots of seniors make videos. Video storage is a free video storage platform. You can make it private and just show it to your friends or family or whoever you want to give it to, but it's private. So that kind of surprised me. So she's going to suggest that to her dad. Hopefully it works out for him. And they're going to see how generous you are with your time. They're going to see how generous you are with being an encourager, how you love other people. They're going to be watching all this stuff, and I want to model that, because the memory, it's going to be there. It's going to be there for them. They may not recognize it at the time, but they will. It'll be in their memory banks. And I guess the bottom line is, are we going to grow old and grumpy like a lot of people do? I've been accused of that in some of the comments on this channel. I've been accused of that, being a grumpy old man, like get off my lawn type person. I'm not that person, and that's okay. Haters will always be haters. But are we going to be old and grumpy, or are we going to be someone our adult kids and grandkids and others want to hang around? Do they want to be around us? That's a choice each one of us can make. Each one of us can make. And as for me, I want to be remembered fondly. I don't want to be remembered as that grumpy old man sitting on the couch doing nothing. But anyway, just a few thoughts I had. You're modeling a lot for your kids, even if you're not around them much. They are still seeing what you do. If you got anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. But until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.